Hi, I'm Vishnu, and this is a vlog about the story of me moving out of Sweden after living here for last 4 years. Yeah, so I was working here at Volvo Cars as a software architect. I was working here since last 4 years in Sweden, and now my position has been made redundant. So I had an opportunity to seek another job within the 3 months time period or before the visa expires. Unfortunately, my visa expires next month, March 11th, 2026, and my last working day is February 28th. So, which means I have about 10 days grace period to search for a job. But I've been exempted from work since December, so I had about 3 months time to search for a job, but I couldn't get one. So in this case, I have to exit the country, and then I will exit on time. Yeah. So this is the story, and then do I happily leave? Do I want to leave Sweden? It's an yes and no because I have a family. I have two kids and a wife. So frankly, we have tried to create a life here, and then we have lived here for 4 years, and we don't want to leave because we have invested quite some time and quite some socio-economic things here. So we don't actually want to leave a life which we have tried to create since last 4 years, but it is what it is. It is life. Uh, so I will tell you my story, and then what are the pros and cons of living in Sweden. Yeah. So first, some of the pros. So the first pro is it's an English speaking country, so you don't have to learn Swedish. So you can in fact live here all your life without speaking a single word of Swedish. Basics, hello, hi, bye. That is enough to live in Sweden with that's enough to live in Sweden with English. So that's one big pros because not many European countries speak fluent English. The Nordic region, they of course speak, but if you go to Central Europe like Germany, Italy, or let's say France, people do speak the younger generation, but not everybody understands English, to be frank. So it's a highly English speaking country. That is one of the pros. Second one, the nature is surreal here. If you have, if you are coming from a city background, or if your whole life is from living in suburbans and cities, then it would be a world of difference for you to coming to Sweden because it's full of nature. Well, depending on which landscape you live in, it may be full of mountains, plains, shores, uh, with elevations. So you will find pristine nature here. The quality of the life is much, much higher. The quality of the air you breathe, the quality of the environment, the quality of the amenities around for the kids, it's very high. So you will have a very high quality of life. And the third one is the system here is quite robust. So once you enter Sweden, it may be a little bit of struggle from the first couple of months, 3 months to get into the system. So once you are in, then the system works for you. So you will have your health insurances working, bank accounts, your medical checkups, your schooling for the kids, their regular checkups, their dental checkups, and everything works. And there is no problem there. So it completely works as long as you are in the system. Provided you have to wait for some medical appointments in case if it is not so serious. Yeah. Not like if you're coming from a developing country, you may be used to that. Fourth one, the quality of the food is very, very high here. So, me being a foodie, the quality of the food is very high. Swedes are highly conscious about their health. So, you'll be embarrassed to have a belly here because people are extremely fit, and you will always see them thriving in some or the other outdoor activities throughout the year, be it snowing, be it raining, be it a beautiful summer day. So they will be always thriving in some physical activities. that is sweet for you. And the fifth pro, which I feel is it's an egalitarian society, which means everybody is supposed to be equal or at least treated to be equal, which means it is very difficult uh, to become rich here. So everybody has a median income, and the deviations are very minimal, and there is literally no corruption here. So you can, if you're coming from a developing country like Asian developing country, let's say India or Pakistan, there is no corruption here. So things work, and things really work very well. So these are some of the pros of what I have observed in my last 4 years here. Let's come to some cons. Yeah. So Sweden has very beautiful summers. So in some depends on depending on where you live here, the sun may never set, or sun may set for very few hours here during the summer for about 3 to 4 months. And you have the sunlight for 6 months here, and you do not have the sunlight for about 3 months straight, meaning you have sun only for 4 hours or almost no sun for about 4 to 6 months, depending on where you live. Um, and that darkness is very hard to digest for your brain. So, and it is extremely hard than anyone can imagine when you live here. Yeah. And it is also cold for 6 months of the year. So if you are used to a tropical or a temperate climate, you may be your body may be really undergoing a torture in the first 2 years, and it may take some time to acclimatize. After 2 years, uh, it will be fine. I've come from a completely tropical weather, and in fact a very arid region. So our normal temperatures are 35 to 40 42 degrees centigrade. But when I come to Sweden, I've lived in temperatures still minus 27, minus 28. And the first 1.5 years, it was very difficult for me, for my body to take. But now I'm used to this weather. In fact, as I am talking to you, the outside weather is minus 16. Um, and if you are from a developing country, maybe you would have never heard that temperature, but I'm sitting completely normal. It's cold, and there's a snowstorm there, but it you will get used to it over time. Yeah. And during the darker months, the time feels much slower here. So that it means you will have more time to kill. The time doesn't go fast, and you will feel it psychologically when you move here. So time doesn't go fast here. The second con, making friends is very difficult in Swedish society. It's almost impossible, as long if not it's very difficult to break into their circle. So most of your time here is going to be with your family, if you have a family, or if you're alone, maybe with your country friends or the circle which you will create here. But other than that, it's very difficult to make friends in Sweden. That is one of the biggest cons. So especially when you have a family, and if they do not have friends over a long period of time, they really don't want to stay here. So they just want to leave, because making friends for even the kids find it difficult to make friends here. And the kids are forced to play alone, and they are taught to play alone. They are not taught to play in groups. That's how the schools work here. So it is going to be difficult in case if you are expecting a very social uh, society, if you want your kids to grow that way. Third one, the job opportunities are heavily limited here. So depending on the industry you come from, I come from automotive industry, and I have a engineering background. I'm basically a mechanical plus electronics plus software background, but the job opportunities are extremely limited. And many of the switching jobs, they work on networking. So like you know somebody there, and it works predominantly on referrals. And even if you do not have skills, you can get a job here. but the but you need a good network. I've seen people having musical background writing code here. I've seen bartenders writing code here. I've seen people doing civil engineering writing code here. So it doesn't matter. And the first opportunity to get here is it's basically based on networking and what the recruiter feels on the day. So there is no perfect fit or perfect job here. So because the job opportunities are limited, people constantly move around jobs because it's a very small population of 10 million. Yeah, these are some of the cons, I would say. And what are the unspoken rules? So there are some unspoken rules which you should be aware of. Yeah, Sweden is an extremely international country, which means you're gonna see people from every other country sitting next to you when you work. So, I know people. If you go to southern end of Sweden, let's say Malmo, you will find people from 150 countries naturally in a train station, or at a library or at a university. Let's say Malmo University or Lund University. You will find people from 150, 160 countries. It's very normal here, which indirectly means there is a heavy international politics going on in the work scene. So there is no, like, of course, the organization tries to allure it by some way or the other. But I would say I have faced quite some international politics on the floor when I work. Yeah, based on which region you come from, which language you speak, there are always subgroups and favoritisms here. The second one is there is quite some amount of lobbying here when it comes to certain opportunities, certain positions, and because the opportunities are limited and it works based on networking. So there is quite some amount of lobbying here. So I have seen people who are completely unfit to do things or employed and then getting promoted, but people who are completely like skilled and efficient, but they don't have a good relationship with the manager, and then they getting screwed up. So it's quite some lobbying, and it may be also due to because you come from the same region of the manager. Let's say in this case you're from South America, or in this case you're from Africa. Then the people who are from when there is a manager or supervisor who is from Africa, the people from Africa are usually saved, and people from South America or India are getting the brickbacks. Usually, I've seen this quite sometimes in my career here. Yeah, and Sweden, even though it says that you can speak your mind, uh, me being I worked before working in Sweden, I was working in Germany, and then you can be quite out and loud about your opinions, irrespective of whomsoever is there in the room. There is no offense. But Sweden is a consensus nation, so people want to create consensus here and agree upon each other. So they don't really like conflicts. So when you voice out your opinion in a very conflicting way, they are going to ostracize you. It is very common here. So they don't like conflicting opinions. They may like solutions, propose solutions, but they cannot. They are not so good at accepting conflicts. They are like conflict avoidance people. Third one, uh, there is quite some amount of implicit racism here. You can find it. It is not explicit. People are very lovely here. People are so kind, but you will find this implicit racism in multiple places during your whole journey here. And the people who have lived here, they will understand what I'm saying. And people who have not, then it may be something for you to consider in your mind when you relocate to Sweden. Of course, the world is turning towards far right philosophy, but it is not as bad as in other countries, but it still is there. I would not say it's a completely neutral society. I would say that. Yeah, so these are the pros and cons and unspoken rules of my experience. So I am here for next 2 weeks. So if you think you have any questions, or if you want to I'm trying to sell off most of my stuff and then throw the rest of them away and leave. It is quite sad. I don't have a job yet. I have to figure out a new job once I migrate to my home country. But and I'm also losing out my PR in a month because I've lived here for years, and unless or until I don't have a job contract, I cannot get my PR in Sweden. So that is also sad, but it is what it is. It is life, and I have accepted it. So let's see how it goes. So I just wanted to share this with you. So hope this video helped you in some or the other way. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Yeah, peace.